My name is Shane Mitchell. You Freaks Healthy Men Talk. Okay, in the studio today we have Andy Harris. Yeah. Very old friend of mine. We're talking, what, God?
Way back.
30 years? Not even 30 years. I would say at least 28 years.
No, I would say 30.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
42
now,
12,
so yeah.
We're old.
Too old.
Okay, so Andy's coming to the studio today. He's kindly agreed to give up some of his time. We're going to talk about his boxing career, some of the things you might resonate with. And we're going to really get into it today. So, yeah, welcome, Andy. And let's start off with a nice, simple one. Okay,
yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. You know, I can't complain. You know, so everything's fine. Kids are healthy, doing a job that I love. Yeah, can't complain. All good.
Yeah. So what are you doing now then? Because have you got your own boxing gym? Like what's the situation?
It's not my own. Sorry, it wasn't my own boxing gym. It's just it's a gym that I work out of. A friend of mine, Simon, owns a gym, and I'm doing my one-to-ones and holding boxing classes out there. It's all good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Still throwing your jab every now and then.
No, not so much. I don't like putting on the gloves so much no more.
No.
It gives me makes me want to get back into it. And when I remember how old I am and realize I can't, and yeah, so I kind of leave the boxing and stay on the safe side of the ropes now.
Yeah. Teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just like a fitness class, or are you teaching boxing?
Nah,
what's the sort of day to day?
I teach the boxing side of things. That's what I prefer to do. Yeah. I'm good at teaching the fitness. You know, I beat some people and all that. I love doing that too. But yeah, it's a bit more rewarding, you know, teaching someone how to box and seeing them improve month by month, you know, and then go on into fights. Yeah. Eventually, yeah, it's good.
What's the sort of age range of the guys coming through? Is it just guys? Is it girls?
Yeah, girls. It's getting more and more popular and more common now for the girls to come in. They're actually, if you watch them on the telly, they're always in awesome fights, you know, because I think it's the short rounds, but you know, 2-minute rounds, not the 3, so they go some. It's good. So the girls are getting more and more involved into the boxing, but yeah, I would say around about 9, 10. I don't think you can compete competitively until you're 10 or 11 anyway. So
okay, is that like a law? Is that a range?
Yeah,
oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought it was sort of. Well, I suppose it makes sense. You'd have B&E because otherwise, just teaching kids.
Punch each other. You don't want to be getting.
They're going into school.
You don't want to be getting your brains hit, and you end up like me.
Yeah. Is it all head guards? What age do they take head guards off?
They take the head guards off at senior elite, you know, elite level. The head guards come off at senior level, and they say it's safer for the head guards to come off because they say, like, you know, it's safer to get stopped and, you know, as silly as it sounds, knocked out than continuously taking punches, you know. So yeah, I think they've made do with the head guards now at senior level. Juniors, you still wear them. Yeah.
Because you get buzzed quite easily.
I tend to be fair. Some of you know, like that. Yeah, it's a hard sport. You don't want to be getting.
You don't play boxing.
No, exactly. Yeah, actually, I've got the teacher on underneath here that says don't play boxing.
Oh, I should have had that, mate. You got to advertise. I love a bit of that. I just go back then. Let's start all the way back then from school. How old was you when you? Because I remember you doing boxing at school.
Yeah.
Is that when you started at school?
Probably around about year 7 when we started school. That's when I started boxing. I started like real young at kickboxing, you know, taekwondo, or then you know, going through the traditional route, you know, with the patterns and doing the gradings and all the syllabuses, you know, for taekwondo. It wasn't really my thing. I respect it, you know, it's the traditional way, but I just wanted to fight, Shane. You know, I just wanted to get in there and spar and fight. So yeah, I was doing the kickboxing, doing the taekwondo. I went to boxing to improve my hands. Okay. Because I was good with my feet, not so good with my hands, and I was always getting told off for a little bit hard contact here, there, and everywhere. And I just thought, you know, boxing's a little bit more rough, ready, spitting sort of gym, a bit more me. So I went down there, had a little look. My dad took me down. Never looked back.
So you made that choice.
Yeah.
Then what? What was the first boxing club you joined? Do you remember?
Yeah, Gloucester ABC in Kingsholm. Yeah, Robbie Myatt. He was a great bloke. Gloucester. I was in that gym. I still worked in that gym.
Big Robbie or Little Robbie?
Yeah, Big Robbie.
Big Robbie, yeah.
Yeah, Little Robbie signed his arm at sparring him. He used to beat me up when I was younger.
Madam Robbie.
Yeah. Yeah, great. It was great gym, great. You know, like the atmosphere. It was, you know, it was great. No one really cared who you were, what you looked like, none of that. You know, it's just get in there, get some hard work done, concrete floor, you know, and just do it, like, you know, old school.
Was it just you there? Was you sort of like training, or did you come up with someone else?
I just went on my own. My dad brought me up. He stood in the doorway, like he would every training session. He would never miss a training session. He just stood in the doorway, and I think at that age, you don't really get nervous and things like that, you know, because I was like,
it's excitement.
Yeah, I was 12, 13. I speak to a lot of guys now that they're frightened to walk into a boxing gym.
Yeah.
You know, they know me, so they would ring me, check I would be in there, because I ain't going in there on my own. I'm like, you'll be all right. No, I ain't going unless you're going. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I never really understood that, because obviously I've done that from a young age. So I never really had that problem. I'd walk into any boxing gym, I'd still would now, and feel like.
Do you think that's a modern thing?
I don't know. I feel like because of all the social medias and all, I think everyone feels like they've got to be. People are afraid to be a beginner.
Yeah,
I believe, you know, like that's my personal.
Yeah,
and I think and you should be. You know, everyone starts somewhere. You know, as long as you're willing to learn, give 100%, you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think a lot, and if I'm being honest, I'm saying to a certain extent, it's like going to the gym, right? Because I know a little bit now, a little bit better, but I didn't know how to lift the weights or do the weight. Or like, do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I ain't going. Because if I'm going there and I lift it wrong, everyone's really laughing. But that was, you know, back then before cameras. Now everyone's filming everything, and you know what I mean? Everyone's just worried about getting caught in the shot and look at me, or wearing the right thing. Even just wearing the right thing to a gym. Like,
I mean, it has got mad, you know, the cameras inside the gym. I've even trained a few with they take longer setting up their tripod and their camera than they are in the ring, like, you know. And it's like, come on, man. But I get it, you know. Everyone does it, so they do it. You know, they want to follow suit.
Yeah, you know? I suppose for you being in that ring, and you know, you get. I suppose it's like all gyms. You know, the ones who are serious, who want to learn, and the ones that are just here to do a bit of exercise.
100%, straight away, I can tell. But as soon as you have the first conversation with them, you can tell straight away. Yeah, you know, he wants it. You know, and then you don't mind putting a bit of time in. You know, I find out a lot of time I put my time into things, and they don't really want to know. They just want to look good on their camera.
On camera, look at me, I'm training.
Go, and then you won't see them again for 2 weeks, and then they turn up for 2 sessions, then they go away for a month, come back. Good. I'd rather little quiet ones. Don't really say a lot. They're just there in the background, but you know, I can see them. I know them. I know they're there. But
they're training hard. They're putting the effort in,
and they're not doing that. They're the ones. No, that's it. It's not really about flashiness. We want to do the flashiness and show off a little bit, and then go with. Rightly so, but do the fundamentals as well. You know, don't do all these shoulder rolls and all this, and you know, on the ropes with your hands down when you can't. You know, you don't know how to block the jab yet. You know.
I imagine it's very frustrating.
Yeah, it can be.
So when you went into Gloucester ABC, then?
Yeah.
So how long was you there before you had your first fight? How long was you training for?
6 months.
6 months. So obviously, coaches.
I was fighting anyway, you know, with the kickboxing and everything. So I knew the contact. I was happy with that. It would take other people longer. They could do it shorter time, but yeah.
You had a bit of an head start. You went in.
Yeah.
Who was your coach at the time?
Robbie Myatt.
So it was Big
Robbie. Yeah.
Do you remember your first fight?
Go off on the road. Yes. First round stoppage. Yeah, in Bristol.
Yeah. Do you remember the kid's name?
Yeah, you don't matter. Yeah.
While you're watching.
Yeah, first round stoppage. So
nice.
Yeah, I was happy with that.
So how did that feel?
Yeah, nice. I thought, you know, that's.
Oh, he's the daddy.
Yeah. The next fight though, I lost. So I went one loss, and then I went on a winning streak. I thought, oh no, it's gonna be this routine. One loss. I thought, right, I lost my last one, so now I'm gonna win. But then I just went on a winning streak. So yeah, we're good.
Do you remember Like when you lost, do you remember thinking like, why did I lose that, or was you?
Nah,
Did you get complacent quite early?
because I was a kid, you know, and it was just like you win some, you lose some. It was just because back then the boxing was a little bit different. You just go to a show with your kit bag, didn't even have to be matched. You would just we just go back sit in the back of the transit van, go up the motorway to wherever the show was. Didn't even have to be matched. You just turn up, and you'd stand on the scales. They would stand on the scale, and if they had someone that was roughly your weight that hasn't been matched, also, did you two want to have a go? Yeah. Come on, then we'll go in. Yeah, and you know, so it was all quite laid back, to be fair. No.
Did you find when you were boxing that there were some fights that you thought, hang on, this guy's a bit out of my weight class? And like,
no, not so much in the amateur days. Obviously, when I turned over, I turned professional, and I went on the road as a journeyman. So I was fighting all the prospects. You know, I was always the opponent. Yeah. You know, the away fighter. So I would go to them. They're the ones that sold all the tickets. Yeah. They're golden boy. I would be the opponent, and I knew I was up against it. You know, like. Like further on down the line. I knew my job, but I knew it's going to be a hard night's work, or you know what I mean. some of them are built up to be all this, and they're not all that. Some are like flipping out. Where did he come from? You know, he's going to be a good lad. You know, I could tell, and a lot of people knew. I could tell. A lot of people were asking me, "Oh, how does he compare? How far do you think he'd go?" A lot of the time. Yeah.
How do you tell? It's almost like the way they do the basics.
Yeah, just knew the way they control the range and how sharp they were. And a bit of power, a bit of spike behind the punches. And I'm thinking,
hard night.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard night's work. This is,
So you got into boxing.
Yeah.
You've had a few fights. Yeah. Going well. What made you in your head think, I want to do this as a career? I want to be a boxer.
Right. So this was. So I was going to turn professional when I was younger. I was going to turn professional when I was 21. Yeah. Right. And go through I was going to be the home fighter. I was going to sell the tickets. I was going to be the prospect, you know, and I was going to get managed, and I was going to have the right fights at the right time. But the timing wasn't right for me. I didn't really feel on it. Okay. You know, I think I was at that age, 21, and I wasn't, you know, the most cleanest. You know, I like my parties. I like going out. I like having the drinks. And with boxing like that, you got to kind of like live it. You don't, like we said earlier, you don't play it. You got to kind of like live that lifestyle. And it just wasn't right. Timing wasn't right. A couple of months after I was going to go pro, my boy was born, and it was just like I needed to be at home, do my work. Let's sort this. Yeah, it's not, the time's not right. Maybe in a couple of years. You know, 21 still very young. Yeah. But it never happened. And like, I stopped the boxing. I just wanted to be a dad to my boy, you know, and working, doing a bit of training here and there, just being a normal average guy. Kind of fell into that trap where I just didn't go training. Didn't really. I thought that was it. I thought that was it with my boxing, but then something sparked back up. I was working on the building site, because obviously I was bricklayer by trade. Working on the building sites, and I saw a guy that owns the gym in Oakwood, Baker Street at the time.
Oh, went back to wagon. Yeah.
He owns that, and he said, "You should come on down and do a bit more training. Be good to hit the bags again and all that." I was like, yeah, I might do. And he was painting it. I was working. A week later, he's like, "Get on down, come on down." He kept hassling, and I thought, "Oh, sod it. Yeah, I'll go down there." Went down there, and then I ended up boxing for Baker Street again. Back amateur boxing. Bit older this time, so things meant a little bit more, you know, like, you know, the championships, the ABAs and all that. It all started getting a little bit more. I started getting nervous, and, you know, I wasn't a kid no more. I kind of knew, you know, the power started coming with me and against me. And so I knew it was like, it started getting it. I knew I couldn't mess about with this. I had to do it properly. So I've done all that. Done in championships, had a few fights, won some, lost some. Done all right as an amateur. Never won the ABA title though.
No?
No, never won a national title.
Get close?
Semi-finals. Twice. I've never made the final day of an ABA title. And that always winds me up.
Why?
I don't know, it just winds me up. I've always got so close just wouldn't have minded being in the national final. You know, as an amateur, that's what you aim
That's
to
what
do.
you're in for. Yeah, that's what you're in it for.
And I never made it. So close, so close.
Do you remember the 2 fights?
Yeah, I remember the semi-final that I had. It was an army lad.
Yeah.
I was doing okay. But then you got told in between the rounds how far up. It was computer scoring.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a red and a blue. Boop, 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 you know what I mean? The judges. Yeah. And going into the last round, I was 2 up. So like, if he hit me twice, I hit him twice, I could still win this.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But army lad, fit lad. I was fit and strong. I've always been fit and strong. So I knew it's going to be a good last round.
Yeah.
And he won the last round, but it ended up a draw on the scorecards. But obviously, amateur boxing, you can't have a draw. So yeah, it went to scorebacks. So they go back around. So who won the round before? Who won it? So because I got no points and he got 2, because he won the last round, he won it. Yeah. Yeah, so we went through. He turned professional as well. Yeah.
That's pretty much how you got to win every single round.
Yeah, it's just a count back score, and it's just the way they've done it. Obviously, it didn't last long because like you said, you just got to keep winning. So yeah, it didn't last.
What about the other fight?
I don't really remember that one, to be honest. I was in. I think it was in Liverpool. I think I was in Everton when I was fighting that one. Strong lads down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really remember too much about that. The only reason why I remember the one before, because obviously I thought I was through.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to do it. But the other one, I'm pretty certain I just got outboxed and I just wanted to forget it. To be honest, yeah.
That's the thing with boxing, isn't it? It's like if you have a fight and you get hit by a lucky punch or you get knocked out, it's one thing. But when you feel so close and you think there's not much in it, and you're going off the judges.
Yeah, it can be cruel like, sometimes. It can be so unfair. You know, you could be training your height, and then it's just like I said, I drew that last. He won the last round. I drew the fight, but didn't go through on it. You know, and I put weeks and weeks of running before school, and and
how long does it take for you to sort of like not just then, but like obviously right up to the end of your career? How long was it take you to get over a loss, or like if something you weren't quite, I can't believe I've lost that ref was biased. Did you manage to get rid of it quite easy, or was it something that's always stays with you?
Yeah, I was lucky. It wasn't so much the result, because I was always the opponent, especially in my pro career. I was always it wasn't so much the result. It was what stays with you is how you lost it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like certain things, like I might get knocked down, and that punch gets replayed in my head, even when I'm doing ring walk.
Yeah.
To the next fight, I'm still remembering. Don't want that to happen again. Don't want that to happen again. And I've almost like losing the fight before I've even got into that ring. I got to let go. Like it's a different opponent. He might not have that power. He might not even have that speed. He might not even be.
Yeah, but you're thinking worst case.
Yeah, because it's happened before, and now I'm dreading it might happen again. Like, I don't want to get stopped in the first round. Do you know what I mean? And made me gun shy. So then you start to get like used to losing as such, if that makes sense, And it's very hard, and I still struggled to get over it. Like it's not so much the loss and not winning that. I'm not egotistic. I don't mind. It was just the fact of how, personally to me, like that. I don't want no one being fitter than me, because I feel, like fitness. It don't take.
You've always been quite fit.
Yeah, it just takes effort. It don't take no talent. It just takes effort. So I would never lose a fight on fitness. It was just certain shots stayed with me. And they say that thing like if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. I'm not really a big fan on that saying, because I've had fights out there that obviously it hasn't killed me because I'm here now, but it didn't make me stronger because it made me weaker. It took a lot out of my game, because I was petrified to throw that shot again in case I got countered the way that I got countered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. That's what really affects me, and I to now. Still now, to the times there's certain defeats that we'll come across, and during this time on here that will stay with me forever.
Yeah.
I don't know how I get over it. I don't know. I don't even know. Don't know if I will. Probably not.
Do you think that happens to quite a lot of boxers?
Yeah. Yeah, more than I think with boxers, especially in the pros, there's no help. No help for them after.
Yeah.
You know, after boxing, a lot of you see them, they go a little bit off the radar, a little bit crazy, a lot of the boxers do. And I can see why. Now, I fight demons a lot.
Yeah.
You know, since I've retired. And I fight daily just to stay normal. Now I got to keep busy. Otherwise I overthink.
Yeah.
It really gets to me.
What would you suggest? Like, how can boxing help? What can boxing do?
I really don't know. I don't know how it can help. Honestly, all the fights I've had fights with Olympic champions. I've had fights with future world champions. All that. My hardest fight has been since I've retired.
Yeah.
You know, I fought an old opponent on my second or third fight. I still keep in contact with him now. And when he found out that I retired, he was like, good luck on your retirement and all that. Reached out and he said, mate, word of a warning, your hardest fight now will start now.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Yeah, put the phone down, carried on getting changed. And then now I see it. And I will tell everyone the same. You know, as soon as the retirement, it's like, now it's the hardest fight. It's so hard. I fell out of love with boxing when I retired. I needed to come away. I needed to come out of the gym. I needed to just be like a normal guy because I'd be running up. I needed to get out of the gym. I'd be in the gym and I'd see someone put their hood up because they're making weight. And I was like, oh, I wish that was me. You know, I almost got jealous of it. I just needed to come away. I couldn't see it because I'd go home at lunchtime, whatever I've seen that. I'd just be on the downer for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Because you can't do what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you've done it.
Yes. Like I know I've done it. I've had my time and I'm healthy and, you know, and boxing's been kind to me. I've had I've been lucky and been involved in some big fights, but
I'm trying to think myself.
It's still a massive void.
That's what I mean. How do you fit? I'm trying to think what the sport can do for not just you, but for boxers to say, right, okay, lads and girls, obviously now, this is going to happen at the end. Start preparing, or maybe start seeing someone now, or start doing some courses, or start doing badges.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, you know, obviously you go into the coaching, that's what it falls into, and that's what I've done. I've done my amateurs and started coaching them with the amateurs, and then done my pro license. Started, you know, so I could coach in corner of the pros. I've done all that, but for some people, it's not enough buzz, you know. And it might sound selfish, you know. I've had my time, give someone else, but it's just the way I feel, you know. I hate it, you know. I watch boxing shows now, and I remember them, and I'm seeing opponents that I fought. So they're in the corners now, cornering, and they're, you know what I mean. They've got their own fighters, and I'm thinking, I fought their team, you know. I fought his manager, I fought his trainer, even, you know. And it's just me, like, you know. I just feel a bit. It makes me a little bit
lost.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, mate, I get that. It's totally different.
I just feel like what's next, you know. I really like to say I was in boxing, and I've been from that. It feels like I've lost my identity. Yeah. You know, I just don't know.
Did you think that boxing was Andy Harris, and that not Andy Harris was boxing?
Yeah, you know, like I've been walking through town, whatever. I know a lot of people. I never like, oh, you're Andy, right? When you fight next? Next week. When you fight next? Yeah, next week. Every time, right, Andy? When you fight next? But now I'm retired. Like, Rand, we've got nothing to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Because they didn't want to talk about my boxing. It wasn't like, do you know what I mean?
Right, and
yeah.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
See you, mate.
Yeah. Exactly that. But you know, and it's like, yeah, I do feel like.
It must be horrible, mate. Like, I'm not going to try and pretend I understand it. I can respect what you're trying to say, and especially when you've been doing something since, like I said, for 30 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, right, there you go. That's like someone living in your race, and then someone knock on the door and say, "Right, you've had your fun here. Now you got to move out."
It's really weird. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you can eat what you want and all that." And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it felt weird. You know,
Did you believe that?
me getting up at half 4. Nah, like I think the heaviest I've been is what I'm now.
What
you know, I'm about 11 stone.
God, you make me sick.
And I fought at 9 stone, 9 stone 3.
Oh,
sometimes
Jesus,
10 stone. It varied. It all depends
yeah.
what the fights were at. Because like well, you know, I was
yeah
everywhere. I fought anyone and everyone at whatever weight is. Sometimes it'd be at 10 stone. Sometimes I'd have to come down to 9 stone 3, and then back up to 10 stone again. And
let's stay on that then. So
yeah.
So obviously, right at the start, okay. So you start career, turn pro.
Yeah.
So decided you were going to be journeyman?
Yeah, going back to that, like I said, I was 21. The time weren't right and all that. I went back to Baker Street, done all that. So now we're out on speed tracking. Before that was going to be it, and then I thought, no, I need to go pro. I've trained too hard. I need to see what it's about. Try and get something back, you know, because I wanted something back out of it.
How'd you get on the pro scene? Like, is it just forms and?
Yeah, really, it's more of if you've been an amateur boxer and you're a good amateur boxer, it's a lot easier, you know, because you take your amateur license to it. They see what you've done. If you haven't got that amateur pedigree behind you, it's not saying that you can't. It's just a little bit harder, you know. Like they'll dig a little bit deeper into you. Yeah, of course, 100%. You can't just turn anyone pro. They might ask you to come back. Check you really want this, and then come back again, do some sparring with their pro boys. Just check you can defend, attack. Do you know what I mean? That you're good enough to be pro. 100%. Yeah, turn everyone, because then it would downgrade people like us.
You know, those keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, so you signed up. You ready to go?
Turn pro. I was 31, and the reason why I was doing this is because now I had 2 kids.
Is that when you started?
Yeah, 31 I turned pro. Late.
Seems like you've been doing it forever.
So it was too long to be as a prospect, you know, where you have 3, maybe 4 fights a year if you want to be active. By the time you have like 12, 15 fights and you get into title contention, I'd be 36. I'd be going down, you know. So it was just like, look, I'm not going to be no world champion now, but I just want to put me in with whoever, whatever. Do you
sign up? I know this might sound.
No, there's not such thing saying journeyman.
I was going to say, how does
you just have a word with your manager. Your manager will come back, and obviously, if I was a prospect, I wouldn't be fighting someone in my first fight that's had won 6.
Yeah,
you know, because that's not the right. You wouldn't do that to your guy. You know, you want to look after him, bring him on. You want him unbeaten as well. It's a business, you know. You want him unbeaten, and
it's all about branding, isn't it?
So, yeah, I said to him, look, just match me up with whoever. I don't need to look after me. I just
right.
Yeah. Just get me the fights. Get the money. I had 2 kids. I had 2-bed house, so I needed an extra room and bedroom. So yeah, to get me the fights. And first month as a professional, I had 3 fights. So I had 3 fights in 4 weeks. So yeah, I had a fight, and then I had a weekend off, and then I had another one. And then after that, it was that Tom Stalker in the Echo Arena, my 4th fight.
Right.
Yeah, so it all happened very, very quick. Next minute, so I was fighting in Newport over there, and I was fighting at York Hall, and then the next minute I was fighting Echo Arena against Team GB captain, Sky Sports and all that. And I remember going to the weigh-in, and there's more people at this weigh-in than there have been at fights, mind. And obviously he's from Liverpool, and he's quite, you know, Team GB captain, so he's the golden boy, like, you know, everyone loved him.
Everyone's watching.
Yeah, so he gets called to the scales. Everyone's cheering. I get called to the scales, and it's about 2 people clapping, like
clean lady.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Honestly, it was quite intimidating.
Yeah,
like up on the stage, up on the scales, and I could see everyone. I see all these cameras flashing, and cameras over here, there, and a few celebrities over there. Like, it was quite intimidating, and a few boos.
Yeah,
but it's all part of the pantomime stuff, like. But it was new to me because it's my 4th fight. I'm usually getting weighed in changing rooms, not out on the thing. So yeah, there was Anthony Crowler come up to me. good boxer, and he just said, mate, honestly, it's just pantomime. Take no notice. I think you can see I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like, and he took time. Real nice. He's probably one of the nicest guys in boxing.
I've heard that he is.
Honestly, yeah,
he's a really nice guy.
And I still keep up on any. Honestly, he's so like kind. Anything. He'll take time out. Words help me. He'll send messages to my son. You know, trying to keep.
Shout out to Anthony.
So yeah, all good.
So the weight's done.
Yeah, weight's done, all that, and then Echo Arena. I remember driving up to it. Massive building, massive arena. The fight took place. I'd done my ring walk, and then there was adverts because they had to do his ring walk on the telly, but mine wasn't on the telly because I was just somebody, you know. And I was waiting in that ring for a good 3-4 minutes before anything else happened, and then he walked in, and I think it was halfway through. I think there was like 7,000 there.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like he come into this band.
And this was your full fight.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, wow, I want this.
Yeah. I was like, this is what boxing's about. My dad and my family, they were right up out the backs out there. Like my dad would never ever sit ringside. Or anything. He didn't want to hear it. He wanted to be there. Check I was all right, but he'd never want to be where he can hear the punches and feel the sweat come off me and onto him. He'd be at the back. So I knew they were there somewhere. I couldn't quite see them, but I knew they were over there. And the fight was actually all right. You know, I done all right. I've done all right. I've done good. I lost the fight, but I felt pride in myself. You know, I was happy. You know, my manager was happy, my family was happy, the team was. I was happy. I was buzzing. Actually buzzing. For considering I lost, but I was buzzing. I kind of knew I was going to, but.
Well, what a memory, though, mate! What a cool memory.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have. I know you keep talking about, like, obviously missing the buzz, but these memories that you've made.
Yeah.
That can never be taken away.
This is what I think gets me through in the end. You know, like, you know what? At least I've done it. I have done it. You know, and it happens to everyone. Everyone has to retire, and everyone has to, you know. And I'm healthy, so I should be happy. You know, I don't know why I'm not, because you know it does. I'll be truthful. I'm not happy. Like, you know, I'll do anything to do all that again. And I'm sure there's lots of Xbox out there are the same.
I don't think you ever lose that, do you? I think a lot of boxers say all the same. Even like, you know, the professionals now, and they get that little bit of juice, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like, it's funny.
That's why I don't put the gloves on. That's why I don't put the gloves on. Like, occasionally I'll you know, I'm doing a fitness class or whatever, you know, and you have the bit banter. Oh, I'd like to see you do it. You shouting out all the orders, you do it. And I'm like, come on then. And I'll put the gloves on then. And like, and I'll give it a go, and I'll show them how it's done.
So, full fight. Went well. Great arena. Great event. What happened then? How was that journeyman career going? Because I remember a couple of your fights. You're talking about, and I remember seeing you speaking to him, and I think, what was that first fight you got cut? Because if you get cut, you can't fight straight away, can you?
Yeah, I'm fighting for 28 days.
I can't.
And sometimes you got fights booked in.
Yeah.
You know, so now all of a sudden I've got, I don't know, 2, 3, even 2 stitches. Little nip.
Tiny.
But you've had 2 stitches. No, that's it. That's 28 days. It doesn't matter if it's 2 stitches or 22 stitches. You know, that's 28 days. So that's why you'll see a lot of journeymen there, real tight, because it's their money. For me, it was the reason why I went pro was to fight, earn some money, buy a pack of bricks. Fight, earn some money, buy a couple more packs of bricks, so I could build my extension. So
it's your livelihood.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of these people don't understand.
I mean, I had my day job where I was labouring, and it's not, you know, to pay the bills, but that's all it was doing. You know, I couldn't save, I wasn't earning enough, so.
How did that work for you? Like, obviously, let's just say you want to build a site, and then Andy, need you up. Exactly. So, like, boss, like, they all quite all right? They are. They all knew what I was about. They all knew. Well, honestly, I'd be Friday morning, 10 o'clock bake. We're all in the shed. I'm not eating nothing because just in case the phone rings, and phone will ring. And can you be in London tonight? You know, to fight on Chris Eubank undercard or something like that. You know, like something massive. And I'm like, whoa. I'm there.
So I'm on a building site, you know, in Brockworth, say, and then next minute, and then I'm up in London fighting.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there any fights that ever got cancelled, or like, do you went places and travelled far and they got cancelled?
Yeah, so there was this one. I finished work on a Saturday. I finished work. I was working on doing one-to-ones. It was Saturday. I was doing a few one-to-ones. Got home, had a shower, ordered some food because I wasn't fighting that weekend. So I thought, what I could eat.
Yeah.
So we ordered takeaway and like pay-per-view the fight. It was a Chris Eubank undercard.
Yeah.
Chris Eubank fighting in London. So I ordered it. It was on ITV pay-per-view. They didn't do many, but so I ordered that. Went out of the shower. The next minute, I had 3 missed calls off my manager, and so I rang him back. I was like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, do you want to box tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, I can do. Like, I've just finished work. Just got out of the shower. Like,
You're like,
well, where is it? Yeah, like I've just ordered food.
Just
It's on
ordered
its
food.
way. Like, yeah." But I was like, "Yeah, I can do." He's like, and then he told me, he's like, "Right, it's in London on that Chris Eubank Jr. undercard against such and such." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Right. So I then bring up my trainer, I bring him up, and I'll be like, "Can we be in London in 3 hours?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Mate, I'm not driving a helicopter. Like, you know, I'm not even in Gloucester yet. I'm gonna have to go home, get all my kit, come and get you. We ain't gonna make it." Yeah, I understand. So I'd ring my manager back up. "We ain't gonna make it, mate."
Yeah.
Ah, shuts shame. Yeah, okay, yeah. He would put the phone down. Next minute, and ring back again. The money would be doubled. They can't get no one. They really want you. I was like, "Mate, it's not that I don't want to fight.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
I can't make it. I ain't gonna make it in London in 3 hours. I'm at home. I'm in my boxers. Just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
I need to sort out all my kit. Don't even know what weight I am. Like, put the phone down. And he rung back again. They tripled the money. So I rang up my trainer. I was like, "Mate, they tripled the money. They really want us on." He said, "I'll be there in a minute." Straight away, we got down there, went down there. And then Chris Eubank fought, and he didn't win until like round 11 or something. So it went late.
Yeah.
So now my fight couldn't have been done on that same day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, to call it.
All right.
So
what happens with payment?
So his £7,000 worth of tickets that he sold, their fans aren't very happy. I'm like, you know, so he's gutted. It's not about the money for him. Yeah, the kiddie that I was fighting, he's gutted. You know, he's in tears. He's like, "Oh, I've sold all these tickets. They ain't gonna come and follow me now." I'm like, "It's nothing you can do." You know, I try. Nothing you can do. I tried, but we can't do now. So now with the money, because I've turned up and I'm on my weight, I've kept to my part of the contract, so I get paid.
Yeah.
So I got my biggest payday.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting. Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. It was, you know, it was a very good fighter that I was fighting against as well. So
whatever happened to him, do you know?
Yeah, he went on to win like European titles and that. I think he might just recently retired now, but yeah, Jordan Gill.
Jordan Gill.
No, yeah, he's
good fighter.
Very good. Yeah, very good fighter. Yeah, under
do you stay in touch with a lot of them?
Yeah, most of them. That's the thing with boxing. You're there punching each other in, and afterwards you do help each other out. Like I said, you know, the biggest fight happens when you retire. Yeah. So all these boxers they're there for you. They do help, you know. And I get home. I'm sat at home watching the boxing, and most of the nights I'm in tears. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like people are like, sometimes I don't even go to a boxing event because I know I ain't gonna like it because I'm gonna want to be in there. You know. Yeah. It is getting easier, but.
It's still quite fresh, isn't it? Like, when did you retire?
Just for COVID. It's been a while. Yeah. Retired just at the right time, really, because COVID, everything slowed down. So
that could have been worse.
Yeah.
Because COVID would have been on, and you would have been training. You would have gone very crazy because you wouldn't have been out to fight.
No, they did have a few events on, but it was all telly sales then, because obviously they couldn't have no crowd. So the Journeyman kind of like done one a little bit, and they put 50-50 fights on, you know. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, your sort of career went on. You fought for what we saying, 8 years?
Yeah, yeah, 6,
like
7.
On the pro scene, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
So
76 fights.
76 fights.
Yeah, 76 I had.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, looking back at it, like, maybe I'll go to 100. But you know when you know time is up. You know, I was getting injuries. You know, I was getting older. The weight was harder to make. was taking injuries into the next fight. They were taking longer,
Yeah.
you know, and it was just like, come on, I'm healthy. I've got kids at home. Yeah, extension is now finishing, you know. So
was that the tip? Like thinking, right?
you
I'm
know, like
healthy.
when the extension belt, I thought that's like my world title, you know, because that's what I set out boxing to do, to get this. So when that finished, it took a while. It took longer than plans. We had little things off, like getting married and all that. So the money went on that a little bit. But yeah, on the whole, it was just for that extension and for my kids, really. Yeah. It's the only reason.
Yeah. So you got the ice belt?
Got the house belt. It wasn't actually finished on the inside, but you know, like when it was out.
Mate, my ice ain't finished. Like it's been years. You just do a little bit of time.
Yeah. Especially like in our trade, because it's mates that do it, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, weekend.
Oh, that day.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, next weekend because they've gone out, you know, but they're doing you a favour, so you can't really say anything.
But that's how it works.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I know you, and I just quickly touch on it. With you saying with boxing and like the camaraderie in boxing, you know each other. It's the same with the building trade.
Yeah,
that doesn't get talked about enough. Like the banter, and the camaraderie of. Do you know what I mean? Like guys on site, it's unrivaled.
Yeah,
yeah. You know, like,
I do miss that. And people say, "Oh, but you don't look back now. You're in the gym." You know, in England, the weather's mostly crap most of the time anyway.
Okay,
but
it's beautiful.
I like. Yeah, it is today. To be fair, yeah. In the summer, I do miss it.
Yeah.
You know, I like being out on that scaffolding, bricks on my shoulder, having banter, having a crack. You know, working hard and.
It's the banter.
Yeah,
for me.
You know,
I miss the banter.
4 o'clock finish, sometimes 3. You know, and
Poets Day.
Yeah, great.
Piss off early. Tomorrow's Saturday. In case of those who don't know what Poets Day is.
Yeah.
Coming to the end, you're thinking. I mean, you must be happy with what you've done in the boxing game.
Yeah,
you've met.
Yeah.
So at that point, so obviously the way you're feeling now. So at that point, you're thinking you're winding down. Did you have a plan in your mind? Did you think, right, I'm going to go do that?
Kind of all went out the window, right? So now we're going on a little bit out of the boxing. I like I say, I got all this done. And it was all going good. I had a few more fights to go in. Me and the wife weren't seeing eye to eye. You know, we had our different. I'm not going to explain all that, but we separated.
Yeah.
So now I'm living here, there, and everywhere. I'm on my mum's sofa.
Yeah.
Still trying to be a professional boxer. Still trying to train.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I'm not in the family home now, so everything's changed. So now it's a little bit harder. You know, like I'm on my mum's sofa, and then I've got a fight coming up, and sleep on the sofa, and trying to find some money to find my own place to live.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously I've been you know, no one wants to go back and live with that mum as much. So I loved her. Yeah. So it was hard. So
was that happening?
I was sofa surfing a little bit.
Then?
Yeah.
So was that like near the end?
Yeah. So this is another thing that helped me. You know, I had other things going on. You know, because obviously, me and the wife split up. Everything was still raw. Everything was a little. You know, we got kids. Everyone's been through a split up with their kids, and you know, it's not so much. You know, trying to. It's hard. You know, I've got no routine because I've got nowhere to take my kids. You know, I'm on a sofa here, or I'm sleeping on a gym over there, like, you know, or I'm sleeping around a friend's house, you know, on the Saturday. I've got nowhere to take my kids, so I can't really have them. So now I'm missing them. I'm fighting that own battle. Yeah. So now the boxing all of a sudden is my life. It's not playing that part no more. So I have 3 or 4 more fights. And my very last fight, I got a big injury, started getting like headaches and all that, and I thought I got to sort my life out. You know, like I don't even know where I'm in this house that I couldn't really afford. You know, like, I rented it for 6 months. I had a 6-month lease, and like I couldn't afford it. I knew in 6 months I'd be gone. So I was running late with the rent. So much. It was just all snowball. I just needed to. So I gave it the boxing a little bit quicker than maybe what I didn't know that was going to be my last fight. If I knew it was going to be my last fight, I would have bought people. You know, they could have seen me out.
Yeah. Swan song.
Yeah, it was just like I was out in Kent taking a normal fight, and then next minute I just wasn't boxing again because it was hard. I got through the fight, but injuries and headaches afterwards, and I knew it was coming. Yeah, that was it. I knew when I got home, I won't be fine again.
Yeah.
But
how did you feel at that time when you switched and you knew that I think that's it for me?
Yeah, you know,
Was
on a
that,
boxing point of view, it wasn't really. I didn't really feel like I was going to miss it like I did because I had bigger fish to fry. Like I was trying to sort my life out. Like, you know, I had nowhere to live full time. I had like I was trying to work out. I just had a backpack. That's all I had.
Boxing
you know,
became
like
trivial at that point.
yeah. It was just like that was the last thing on my mind. And again, you got to live it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you're not really thinking about it, then you can't be doing it. You know, so yeah. After that fight, I had to then try and think, right, I need to sort myself out. So I went back to my mother's because I couldn't afford that house anyway. So I went back to my mother's on her sofa and just worked and trying to save because I was with mum. Mum wouldn't charge me nothing. I was on the sofa, so I could save a bit of money, you know. Yeah, but she'd never accept it. No, you know, you're trying to save for your own place, sort of like, you know, and trying to sort out my kids and, you know, help her even, you know, even though we're separated, I'm still, you know, like very much involved in what I want to see them okay, you know, they're still in the house, so need to help them, you know. So it was like, that's where money was going, to be fair, you know, trying to sort of kids out, and it was just a mess. I was a mess. I thought that was it. Like, I didn't know where to go from there. I had no boxing. I had nowhere to live. I had my wife was going through a breakup. I gone from being real regimented, getting up at 4:30, running that, back, seeing my kids, to nothing. Like, and I was like, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know. I wasn't happy. I don't know what was wrong. A couple of times I wanted to end it. Yeah, Jane. You know, I was walking, you know, down through Cooper's Edge. There's a motorway bridge, and it actually went through my head like, what, you know, if I just jump off this and it's done, sorted, like, you know, because I ain't boxing no more, not with my family no more. I got nowhere to live really. Like, I'm living on my mum's sofa. Like, long as they're all right. At this time, with my insurance, I'm worth more dead. Yeah, you know. So
I've heard that before.
Like, yeah, it did enter my head more than once. I was there and I was leant over. I was like, shall I? Yeah. Shan't I? What? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. Drinking a bit. I think I'm not really a heavy drinker, but I think I used it as an excuse. You know, I'm going through all this, and it's what normal people do, isn't it? You know, when they're struggling,
find something,
when they're struggling, I ain't training no more. You know, I ain't got to make weight no more. I've gone from being super busy to having all this time on my hands. You know, I'm living on my own. Yeah. Not training.
That's one of the things, man. It's like just having that time, just like we spoke about the other day.
Yeah, just overthink. But like, don't get me wrong, I'm fine and all that, but it's hard. It's hard living on your own. You know, you do overthink. I didn't think I was one of these people. You know, I was always, you know, when people, overthink, I'm like, now I get it. You know, and that's why I reached out to you when I seen you doing this. I wasn't already, you know, them ones back in the day. Oh yeah, man up, just man up. Like, you know, men don't talk, right? And I was one of that. You know, like, what you want about? Just man up, be a man. You know, I was always a boxer. I was working on the building sites. So I was just a geezer, like, you know, I'll sort yourself out, grow up, like. But now,
you get it.
Now I get it. Now I can see why all these problems and why the mental health is a big thing. Because honestly, most days I go through it. Like, there hasn't been a time I don't sleep at night. You know, I'm having sleep paralysis. You know, all that, where my brain's not switching off, but I'm tired. And honestly, it's so hard. And I've seen you doing this, and this is why I reached out for fair play, because men don't talk. Like, they don't. I'm one of them. Like, but I would tell anyone to talk. Yeah. I'm there for anyone. You ask me in the gym, people are going through a problem, mate, come and do pads. Won't charge you. Yeah. Come and do some pads. We'd hit a bit of pads, but we'll mainly talk. I'll help anyone. You know, any male, female, anyone. I'll help anyone. But when it comes to me, no, I ain't telling no one. I'm all right. But I'm always laughing, joking, smiling, happy. taking the mic. Honestly, I'm probably in that room. I'm not saying I can't judge, you know, but everyone's got problems.
Yeah.
I was rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know, but I would not let people come training to offload their problems. They don't want to hear mine, you know, like they're telling me their problem. Yeah, that ain't nothing. I'm going, you know, I've lost my wife and my mum's passed away, like, you know, and
you go into automatic pilot mode.
Yep.
Don't you? Do you know what I mean?
I haven't,
like you just switch
I haven't
off,
had time to process. I know you said like it's been like since COVID, but I haven't really sat back, and because when you lose a career like that, it's almost like grieving. Yeah. I've lost something that's been part of my life.
Yeah.
My whole life, and now I'm not doing that no more. I've lost it, you know. I've got to grieve it, and I don't think I've had a chance, you know.
Because you've been always keeping yourself.
I'm always keeping. Active. That's my way, and like that's my way of dealing with it. But is it dealing with it, or is it just masking it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm gonna break, you know, and I'm gonna just self-destruct everything that I've got going at the minute, and I'm fighting myself not to. It's really, really weird. Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, if you can, the smallest thing, not the smallest because they're big, and start there. Start there, and then eventually you'll go on to the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
Don't try and deal with everything at once.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, because I feel like, in a way, that's what I'm trying to do. So, like, now we're starting with the smallest thing, this boxing, right? So, right, I'm not going to box again. Now, let's keep involved in the boxing, but on the safe side of the ropes.
Yeah.
You know where the old men are, you know, on the outside of the ropes, you know, coaching, using my experience to others. So I'm starting to, you know, I'm getting back involved in, instead of just doing one-to-ones, I'm getting involved in the actual boxing side of things now again.
Good.
You know, and watching them come through and helping them out for their fights. And they got fighting on the weekend, sharpening them up. And so I'm getting involved in that way. You know, they're messaging me, how was sparring? Did I do anything wrong? And it's nice. Yeah. You know, like 13, 14-year-old kid. Oh, did I do anything wrong? It's nice. It reminded me of me when I was that age, you know? So, yeah, that is helping. That is just, you know, what I'm struggling with is it feels I'm doing all this, but I'm doing it. I feel like I got no one to make proud. You know, I'd be like at the boxing, I'd be like, I'll ring up Dad. Cause like I said to you earlier, my dad would be at every training session.
Watching.
He would help me out. He helped me out massively, you know, with that fight with Luke Campbell. That, you know, like the way I lost and all that, that really messed with my mental health properly. Like proper, like the worst fight ever that was. It was so big, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll watch you against Luke Campbell. Straight away, my heart, you know, no one remembers the others. Well? No, it was not so much, he's just too good, right? And I understand that, and rightly so, but it was just the way, I just wanted to do myself proud, you know, like like I said against Stalker, I put up a good fight, and that's what I wanted this fight to be. You know, it was real big, you know, there's a lot of people watching it at home on the telly and staying up. Luke,
did you speak to him?
I still chat to him now and all that, and no, he don't really say much about boxing no more. He's gone into because he's retired now. He's gone on into politics and all that now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, for Hull and all that. So yeah, it's
so at that moment then it was obviously bad for you, and
real bad.
You say your dad and all got you through it.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah, you know, to be fair,
so you're quite close with your dad.
Very. When it comes to boxing, he was my biggest fan. He would, regardless, I'd be up in Bristol training. We'd be on like a training day for like 6 hours, and he's not allowed to come in and watch. So he'd just sit in his car with his book. But he would take me. Wait, and when I got my dinner break, I'll go out to him. He'd be like, "How's it going? Yeah, he'd just sit in his car for 6 hours, just waiting for me to finish training, so we could talk about it. He was my biggest supporter, 100%. And like,
so it must have been hard then. So when he passed away, it was sudden. So heart attack.
I was with him Saturday night. Tuesday, he was gone. You know, like my mum, I got a phone call at night. My mum come round, so I knew it was wrong. I knew something was up, because my mum be at my flat 1 in the morning. You know, like it's got to be something serious. And I opened the door. She was like, "Just can we come in?" I was like, "Whoa, what's up?" She goes, "Just sit down." So I knew then, like, you know. So
Did you feel you changed as a person when your dad passed?
I felt when Dad passed, I felt like,
Did you feel heavier?
yeah, I felt the world's cruel,
Yeah.
you know, and I felt lost again. You know, I do with boxing. It did pull me into church a bit. I'm not a mad preacher or anything like that, but someone said to me, "Flipping out, all these fights you're having, and you're out for you going to your kids. Someone's looking over you."
Yeah, man.
I thought, could be right, you know. If he is, I just want to thank him. So I'd go church on a Sunday every now and, you know, it's my way of saying thanks for looking after me. So I go there, but then he passed, and I was like, so unfair. Like, where is he now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not fair. Like, why him? You know, it was.
We all think that. Everything we've got, we think, oh yeah, all the good stuff. But unfortunately, bad stuff does happen as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a major blow. Mum, I just got no one to, you know. I'd ring up my dad and be like, "Dad, I've trained such and such. Right? Can you remember when I used to do this? Well, it's still going on now. 25 years later, the place hasn't changed. I'm back at Baker's. Do you know what I mean? And I can't. I miss it. I just want that phone call, like, and it. It hurts.
Yeah. So then your mum passed away.
Yeah, Mum passed away. Yeah, cancer. Quite sudden. You know, I didn't. You know, maybe it might have been better. I didn't see her struggling, and do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so, like some people do, you see them for years, don't they? Again, losing weight, and but no, it was quite sudden. It was quite fierce. So that was that, you know. And
so you're feeling, so that's happened obviously, and like you said, so when you say like you've got no one to feel,
I got my kids, you know, they keep me
on the straight and
narrow. Yeah, that's what I feel. I know, like, Dad'd be like, "Fair play to you, man, you're doing all right," you know, or "Yeah, you know, such and such wouldn't do that," or "Yeah, you're doing all right." Like, I just haven't got no.
Yeah.
You know.
Is that important to you? Do you need someone to?
No, you know, I'm getting used to it. It's just nice to have it. You know, like,
I know.
It's the same with anyone. It's very hard to keep doing what you're doing when you got no one clapping for you.
Yeah.
You know? And my dad and my mum were those people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
they're the only two people.
Yeah, I got no one to.
That would generally want you to do the best.
Because there's people out there, right, that want you to do well. They do, but they never want you to do better than them.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they do. Like,
whereas your dad always wants you to be better than him.
And now it's just like, I'm just plodding.
Yeah.
And I have done for ages.
Did you have you cottoned on pretty fast to those people? Like, obviously, I imagine you coming up and being amongst that boxing scene, having contacts with some of these big stars. Obviously, you knew quite a few of them. Did you feel anyone at any point try to take advantage of that?
There were people out there that take advantage of your good nature. You know, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They want more. And there were people that I was helping, and I was thinking, if I didn't help you, I wouldn't hear from you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hear from them all week, and say like I help him on, I don't know, on a Monday. I know such gonna message me because he's gonna want this.
Yeah.
Because it's Monday.
That phone's only ringing.
And then the next minute, there's the message. Like, if I wasn't doing that, you know, I wouldn't hear from them.
No, I get it.
You know, and when I come away from certain things, I didn't hear from people.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't hear from them is because I wasn't in a position to help them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So that's what I mean. So look, coming off that, you think people are just trying to take, and then all of a sudden you got nothing to offer for them, and then they disappear. I think a lot of men struggle with that. Right. I think as men get older, because it's not unique to you, mate. I think it's quite a common thing. I think you do realize as you get older, your real friends. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So the ones that have been there what they call it, day one riders.
The thing is, right, and I'm not gonna keep trying to play a victim. With boxing, it took my friends away.
Yeah.
I couldn't growing up, everyone wanted to go out on the lash, have a few drinks, I couldn't do that. Right, I couldn't drink. I
It's a
couldn't,
lonely sport.
couldn't
isn't
even eat. I couldn't even go out for a meal. Like I couldn't eat. I had to make weight. I was fighting every week,
Mhm.
you know. So it wasn't as if after my fight I'll go out, because next week I'll fight again.
it?
No, I'm fighting
Yeah,
again
yeah.
and again and so on. The only time I get a break is if I had stitches in my eye, you know, which happened quite a lot, to be fair. But
You're supposed to duck.
yeah,
bleed
no,
out,
not
or-
block your face. Yeah. Boxing took away, like, my girlfriend is my best friend. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of people. I
But
don't
you
know.
don't
I don't
know
know
a
how
lot
many
of
friends
people.
I've got. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
My
Well, that's a famous
my work
saying, isn't
is
it?
just work. Come home on my own, and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, that's and my kids. That's on the weekend. If I'm not with my kids, I'm with my girlfriend. I don't think I've got any friends.
Yeah.
You know, like people might watch this and no, I'm your friend, but
Yeah, mate, they will.
I-
Oh, what are you on about?
yeah. I might upset a few people, but I know a lot of people, and I say, yeah, you're right, and I'll out people out, and maybe they might out me out if I needed something, but they wouldn't. I wouldn't say they're friends.
I think for me, when people say like we've got thousands of mates, aren't we?
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah, he's a mate of mine.
yeah.
Mate of mine.
There you
But
go.
you
Yeah,
may have a handful of friends.
yeah.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
don't even know if I got that, to be honest, Shane.
No?
Like, I know a lot of people. I don't even know if I got a handful of friends.
Is that in your head?
I don't know. I
Is
really,
that because
I don't
of the
think
way
it
you're
is.
feeling right now, and you're
I
like,
just, maybe I'm feeling like down and sorry for myself, and honestly, I don't think I have. I don't think I have got friends. You know, I got my girlfriend does everything with me, and my kids. I wouldn't say I've got.
yeah.
I wouldn't say I've got friends.
Would you put part of that blame on yourself?